A very warm welcome to our guests. Joining me today is Amazon Sustainability Lead Jenna Leiner.
Hi.
Welcome. And Justyn Green from Versent.
Thanks for having me.
In recent years, business and governments have come under unprecedented pressure to substantiate sustainability commitments with practical action. Jenna, I might start with yourself. Amazon co-founded the Climate Pledge in 2019. Can you unpack what that commitment is?
Yeah, absolutely, and thanks for having me here. So at Amazon, when it comes to sustainability, everything starts with the Climate Pledge. As you mentioned, we co-founded it in 2019 with Global Optimism, and Amazon was the first signatory to take the pledge, and really it's a commitment to being net zero carbon across our operations by 2040, which is 10 years ahead of the Paris Agreement. In pursuit of that goal, we also have our 100% renewable energy goal, which means that we are going to power our entire operations with 100% renewable energy by 2025. And when I first started at Amazon, that goal was actually 2030. So we've moved ahead 5 years, which is just fantastic to see. And you may have seen in our sustainability report, most recently dropped last week, we were able to announce that 90% of our operations is currently being powered by renewable energy, which is an incredible feat. Here in Australia, we have 2 solar projects that are currently providing clean energy into the Australian grid, one solar farm in Gunnedah and another in Suntop, which is just fantastic to see locally.
And can you tell me how you actually help customers understand their environmental impact on IT workloads and what they have running in the cloud?
The sustainability in the cloud piece is really driven by our well-architected framework, and so a few years ago we introduced sustainability in there, and what comes with that is an enablement of customers to think about architecting sustainably. Historically, I think engineers have always thought about cost implications, how to bring agility, resiliency, and now we're focused on helping them understand a new dimension, which is sustainability. I mean, Justyn, as a partner, I'd love to get your view on how that has benefited bringing sustainability into that well-architected pillar.
Thank you for asking. I think one of the major things that customers are looking at when they look at sustainability is how can I really offset the usage that I'm doing with my current workloads, because a lot of the time they don't know. So a lot of the time when we conduct those well-architected reviews and focus on the sustainability pillar, they see and understand that those workloads can actually be optimized, even if it means that they have to get buy-in from their strategic governance and management, because sometimes that architecture needs to be changed, and that change can either be detrimental to services that they serve internally or to their actual customers. And so giving them those tools to understand that and then build out that business case to have those agreements across the business units, because as they can see, having dense compute inside a cloud but not using it is expensive from a cost, but also it increases their carbon usage, which we want to help them reduce.
Fantastic.
Justyn, we might stay with you. Can you tell us a little bit about your role at Versent? I was recently really impressed to hear that you've developed an engagement named Green Brick Road.
Yeah.
I'd really love to hear about what that engagement involves and what that really looks like end to end.
And so look, at Versent, we want to always do what's right by the customer. That's why we're partnered with Amazon, because customer-centric, we're also customer-centric. And as part of any initiative that an organisation goes through, they need to have the right strategy and the governance in place. We designed Green Brick Road as a tailored, sustainable discovery assessment that has an outcome where they have all of the known metrics around their workloads and how those treatment plants can help them reduce their emissions, but also improve their performance across their landscape. So it's not just as simple as saying you have servers in a data center, move them to Amazon, job done, because that would just seem very binary. It's more tailored around what are those workloads actually configured for? Are they needed anymore? And do we need to change the way that they operate with either different architectures, including serverless or containers? And then really drilling down and using a bit of wisdom in that process to help them understand that there are other services that Amazon offer as a native service that would not be just a big fat database sitting in the cloud, which we want to help them remove.
I'm really interested to hear more about a customer engagement using the Green Brick Road piece. Can you help me understand why a customer would like to investigate the Green Brick Road engagement? No need to mention their name, but what did that look like, and how did the customer work through that journey with Versent?
The biggest thing with this particular customer was they are a large consumer of energy in all of their facilities. They were also in Queensland, being an old Queenslander myself. And one of the things they didn't know was they did not know across all of their branch offices, headquarters, they had multiple clouds as well, but mostly they had a invisible report. They knew that they were paying a lot of money, but they didn't know what that was attributed to. So the outputs of the Green Brick Road that we did for this particular customer in Queensland, which was in the public sector, was focused around getting those reports tailored to the actual workloads that they focused on and that they wanted to focus on. So they had a lot of lower tier environments that were not really targeted, and building all of the recommendations out of not just the tools that we got from Amazon, but we did a lot of workshops, interviews, and actually spoke with management on their strategy and governance of what they were trying to hit as a target, because they had their own sustainability target that they wanted to line up to. So this whole process, which took between 4 and 6 weeks, was taking those inputs and then producing a business case that was very directional around what the next steps were going to be. Because they really wanted to understand first to make a decision to do something next. And that was what was blocking them. They had no visibility and they needed to understand that better.
I think that's a really interesting point that you raised, that parallel effort. A lot of the sustainability challenges come down to data, but also its culture and its attitudes within an organisation. So the fact that you're going in and you're talking to management about their strategy, I think that's absolutely required in parallel to looking at data as well.
One thing that we've noticed is having that line of impact and influence, particularly into the financial arm of those large organisations, and talking them through that having a sustainable attitude actually means that you're going to change the way that operations work fundamentally for your workloads, which is fine, but there is actually material savings that can be made. It may mean that the operations have to be tailored around timing. So a classic example I'll explain is, environments may have auto shutdown mechanisms to reduce their footprint of operations, which means that people may have to obey by those times. They're not going to be up 24/7, which is a waste of effort. So obviously that type of influence from the financial point of view really is the lever to get them to start saving that cost and driving out the strategy. We're trying to benefit our community. So obviously we're customer centric, but we're also community centric as well. We want to leave the planet a little bit better than the way we found it. And obviously, I've got lots of kids. I want to have it to them. They're important to me, and I want to make sure we hand it over to them in a better way. So reducing our emissions and actually having a good influence through the businesses we support is very important.
Great. Well, really thank you both for your time today. It's been a pleasure speaking to you both about what's really important in our industry is sustainability.